On February 16th, Saturn, the Lord of time and karma and discipline and structure, will go in deeply invisible into the heart of the sun called Cazimi, while also in a flowing and a harmonious trine to a very special asteroid goddess, Hekate. She's known as the goddess of the threshold or the triple crossroads. She's also the mother of angels and the mother of the world soul of the soul of the world, and she's also deeply connected to magic and mystery, as well as protector of households. She's such a rich mythology, and Saturn is going to be with the sun in a perfect conjunction on February 16th. Well, the perfect conjunction of Saturn and the sun are lined up exactly in a perfect 120-degree trine to Hekate. This is going to open portals in our lives, a dramatic crossroads of change, but also protection and some really interesting stories, because as Saturn goes deeply invisible, he's doing that in the sky, everybody. Hang in and follow my thread. After being combust the sun from January 30th to March the 6th, meaning he's invisible to our eyes during that time. This is a very much about the grand design, the divine plan, the will of the divine, whatever you want to call it, because Lord Saturn is off duty and there's something special happening during this time. So we're going to talk about all of that and how it impacts you and your sign based on your rising sign. Of course, you can listen for your sun sign and your moon sign, but recognize this. When you were born, the rising sign is you coming into the planet Earth as a baby, taking your first breath. And therefore, that rising sign, let alone the degree, belongs to basically people born on the day you were born within the same 2 to 2.5 hour window. Whereas everybody born on the same month as you has the same sun sign, and the same 2.5 days as you has the same moon sign. Moon can be about mom, safety, security needs, emotions. Sun can be purpose, career, and father figure. So this is why we astrologers emphasize your ascendant or your rising sign as the most easily accurate way to delineate your chart without a personal reading. Alrighty. So if you're new to my channel, my name is Lori Lothian. I am a whole sign house astrologer, as are most on YouTube. That's how we delineate for you, using the Western tropical zodiac, not sidereal, not astrology from India. This is a tropical Western symbolic zodiac. Alrighty. If you're new to my channel as well, don't forget to try me out. Hit my like button, subscribe, notifications bell, and check my description box as well. And if you're one of my regulars, about 50% of my regulars have subscribed, and the other of you haven't, why don't you just hit that subscribe button? Why would you hit a notification bell? Because I have these special flash contests that I have every time I hit a new threshold, usually around like every 1,000 new viewers. I'm heading into the 19,000 right now. Then I have a big contest. I'm growing fast. So I'm growing by 2,500 subscribers a month. There's a lot of contests that you can win in these flash contests that I have all the time. And if you're notified, you'll get notice that I'm going to do a live premiere, and on live premiere I give away prizes. So there's my pitch. In my description box, classes I'm teaching coming up: Sky Reader, Be Your Own Astrologer, Time Your Best Life in March. Get on the wait list for that, early bird notice, and you'll likely get in the class. It usually sells out just on the wait list alone, and everything else I do, including my website, is down below. I am booked out until sometime in March, February, May. This is crazy. I'm recording on February 6th. Sorry guys, I can't do anything about it. I'm recording on February the 6th. And I'm doing this for my Patreon community first. So they're going to get this for up to a week before you guys, ad-free for $5 a month. If that interests you, you might want to check that out. Patreon community in my description box below. Get a tea. Get a tea. I've got a tea. It's my ginger tea, and settle in, because this is going to be a juicy story. I want to talk about the goddess Hekate. We want to talk about her because this is a really tight, almost perfect connection to this asteroid. Now, this asteroid is in the asteroid belt, as are most of the asteroids. There's 24,000 named objects in the asteroid belt. There are also something called trans-Neptunian bodies outside where Neptune is, but we're talking about asteroids right now. And Hekate is a very rich mythology. So let's talk about it. She's like the mother, the maiden, and the crown. She's the witch and the sorceress. She's about ghosts and spooky things that go bump in the night. She's got a bit of a Halloween vibe. She also is connected to the protector of households. And so she has a quality of being a protective agent, okay, in that kind of way. And then in the Chaldean oracles of the 2nd and the 3rd century, she was given dominion over the sea, over the land, right, and over the earth. And she was known as a savior goddess, or soteria, if I said that correctly. And in this the idea of being this benefic energy, she was the mother of angels and the mother of the cosmic soul of the world, or the world soul. So she's got a huge range of stuff, and she's quite magical, and she's quite mysterious. And the Romans called her, knew her as, under the nickname, I suppose, Trivia. Now, doesn't that sound funny? We think of Trivial Pursuit, but trivia means three, the three ways, the three ways. And she's representing when you come to a crossroads in your life. Do you go straight? Do you take a left, or do you take a right? And I think what I want to talk about for each of our signs is how this is going to be a Saturn deeply embedded in the heart of the sun, getting divine instructions from the God, or the Atman, or the soul energy of the sun, which can represent divine intelligence. And he's getting his new mission. And, technically he's dying. He's dying. Saturn is the Lord of time and karma. So I don't know, when you say he's dying, it's kind of funny. But I mean, he's an old Saturn going into the heart of the sun. Every year he does go into the heart of the sun in a new sky place, right? So coming into the heart of the sun in tropical Aquarius is something he only does every 30 years, and about 2 to 3 times each time. For example, January 24th of 2021, Saturn met with the sun at around 4 degrees of Aquarius, to be born again as an older Saturn, to be freshly born anew and become visible around, well, several days after. We'll get into the timing in a minute. And then on February 4th of 2022, at 15 degrees of Aquarius, he went into the heart of the sun. And here we come for our last one, February 16th, 2023, at 27 degrees of Aquarius. Obviously, if you have a planet, ascendant, sun or moon, or anything at 27 Aquarius, it's a big deal for you. Okay, like there's no doubt about it. Or what else? Or 27 degrees of Gemini, where Hekate is sitting on this Cazimi day. Cazimi, heart of the sun. Anything that goes into the heart of the sun is in a Cazimi to the sun. Now, the sun is considered to be the most powerful planet, or energy or luminary in the heavens, and Saturn is pretty strong as well. Why? Saturn's strong because he's moving so slowly. Saturn takes, 2.5 to 3 years to go through any zodiacal sign, which is one of your whole sign houses in your natal sky. He also takes 29, 30 years to go around the entirety of the 12 signs of the zodiac. So if you think of it that way from our perspective on Earth, Saturn has a lot of clout, right? And we're going to be talking a lot about Saturn in Pisces again, because he's moving there for the first time in 30 years, which will be this March the 7th. And if you go listen to my Saturn in Pisces video, I'll try to remember to put the link in the description box, but it's in my playlist for 2023 big transits. You're going to see a lot of interesting stuff about that Saturn. But before he does that, before he moves into this Pisces corridor, where he will be until February of 2026, he has been spending since March of 2020 to this March of 2023, all that time minus a couple sideways back outs into Capricorn, in the sign of Aquarius. So this is his last pass, right, at 27 degrees of the Cazimi. This is the last Cazimi he's going to do. Now, I want to talk about the idea of Saturn becoming invisible. I mean, a lot of times in modern astrology, astrologers don't pay attention to the invisibility of planets for some reason. There is a lack of acknowledgement that if a planet can't be seen with our eyeballs, then it's likely off duty or ineffective. Okay, because it's a geocentric view of the world. Now, planets aren't causal, they're correlative. Saturn isn't doing something or not doing something. He's representing what is happening or what is not happening here on planet Earth, individually and collectively. For example, as Saturn moved through the sign of Aquarius, and he was visible for the majority of that time, so only invisible for 3 months out of 3 years. And in general, it means that he was doing things that we would recognize as Saturnian. Saturn is structure and form and rules and regulations. Aquarius is the people, community, and society. We had lots of new rules and regulations and restrictions, Saturn, around society, because it was called pandemic lockdowns. It was called vaccine passports. It was called vaccine mandates, right? Saturnian control of the people. You could also maybe extend that to the social media control that was also leveraged towards the people around, misinformation and all of that stuff, where people were deplatformed, banned from certain platforms. Now they're all coming back because it turns out they were right. Oh dear, that wasn't misinformation. That was actually what was happening. What can you do? But I guess the idea I want to say to you is that if Saturn's only invisible for roughly 3 months out of 3 years, it's a very special time. I mean, invisible for 3 months of 3 years in one sign. So I would assume then, if when Saturn was visible, he was Mr. Saber rattling rule-making pandemic guy, around laws and restrictions and rules around the pandemic, that this is going to be the opposite. And, there's going to be something new. In the United States, it's going to be a lack of rules, or a lack of rulemaking, or a releasing of the rules, or some kind of differential there. In the United States, the third houses of the United States Sibley chart is like considered to be, in a mundane way, the third house is how the government tells the people what's happening. Hereby, we we do decree that there is no longer a pandemic emergency, said Joe Biden, starting in May, right? They're going to release the pandemic emergency youth authorization stuff with the pandemic. Well, they do that through the news media, social media, and platforms. That's third house stuff. And so, in a way, Aquarius, where Saturn is, and he's been trampling through there since 2020 March, has been putting into restriction a bunch of things to do with how the government, the platforms by which the government will communicate. So there's all this Twitter stuff, the Twitter files about how the government was telling Twitter what they could and couldn't do, and Facebook as well. So as Saturn becomes no longer visible when January 30th to March the 6th, as a collective, we may see a releasing of restrictions, but also maybe something to do with that which was under the surface becoming visible, kind of a flip the script. Because Saturn would be repressing the stuff that was happening behind the scenes, and now he can't do anything. My hands are tied. Okay, more Twitter files or government disclosures, or news breaking revelations around what really happened. So we could see that too. In our own lives, where Saturn is invisible in this almost month-long period, all of February to March the 5th. This is, you might want to look at this as like delay and with Saturn's promise, right? So Saturn in your the tail end of your house of Aquarius. For me, it's the house of my body and my identity. I'm an Aquarius rising. For you, it could be your second house of money, or your fourth house of home, or your seventh house of marriage. And don't forget, whole sign houses. Please, please, please do not look at your Placidus and try to make sense of this, all right? All astrologers are treating you as if you're on a whole sign house program with us, okay? So it's all based on your rising sign. If you don't know what your whole sign houses look like, check my description box. Cast Your Chart and Whole Sign Houses free tutorial. I've given away about 500 of those tutorials. Are only 5 minutes long video by me showing you how to do it yourself. Anyway, so I want to say that your Aquarian house is in a delay mode. Saturn is behind the scenes. Now, one of the ways to see this, it could be about Saturn going inward and taking some sort of contemplative time to understand and know for sure what he needs to do in your sky to finalize the grand finale of the 3 years he spent in your Aquarius first house, second house, third house, fourth house, depending on your rising sign. Yes, you can listen for sun and moon. And then what'll happen is he'll become visible again on the 6th. Now, I find it fascinating that he's on the cusp of Pisces as he becomes visible, just about to go into there. He's at 29 degrees and, change. He's just cusping over to Pisces. But for the most part, in terms of the 15 degrees that Saturn has to be away from the sun in order to be visible, he should technically be invisible at 29 degrees of the sign of Aquarius. Right. And of course, at that point, the sun's moved on into Pisces, although I would think intuitively that he will bleed through some of this energy into the next sign as well. As he becomes visible in the sky, he will be co-joined with a star. The star is Sygny, okay, like Sygny, Sygny. And now I want to talk about that star because he's becoming visible against the backdrop of a star. And that's important in the ancient world. His first sighting, he's going to also be lined up with a star. And back in the day before the pandemic started, Mars was rising against a sort of a malefic star named Altair in the fall of 2019 as he first became visible, which could definitely have portended a pandemic, because Mars is the god of plagues. Yay, and wars. Anyway, so I'm going to talk about that star. Now, to be honest, like, I'm not a superstar expert. I do the research for you and I find what I can. It's not like I have a catalog of stars in my head. So I'm doing looking at the star story, but I'm doing it because I'm looking, all right, in the back end of the software. And I want to do the story justice, right? I don't want to like flub it. So I'm going to read the software interpretation of this star. And I want to also say thank you to all of my regular followers who've been so supportive lately, and helped me boost my channel by coming to my premieres. I'm getting like 200 to 300 people coming to the live premiere, well, the live chat room with the premiere of the video, and so grateful for all of you. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, join my channel, hit the bell for notifications, and you too can hang out with people from around the world. Now, that was filler while I looked for the actual content that I wanted to share with you. Obviously, I'm babbling. All right, and I want to get us to the time where this is happening, which I already said was around the 6th. I'm sorry, the software on the back end is stalling. I upgraded my Astro Gold. Someone told me don't do it. It's a nightmare, and I agree. Because now it's really acting strange. Oh. Okay, coming. Okay, so maybe I should have shown you the picture, but anyway, here we go. Maybe I will anyway, maybe I will. But anyway, let me bring you over to what I'm looking at. Okay, so here we have the sky, and there's this little thing called Hekate, the asteroid. She was at 27 degrees on the day of the Cazimi, the 16th of February, and Saturn was over here with the sun at 27 in Aquarius, okay? I've gone forward to the 29th degree. This is like March the 5th. And then there on the 6th, he's still at 29 degrees and 53 minutes, and he's going to slide over right into Pisces and be entirely on a 3-year story in that sign, 2.5, 3-year story. So what I'm doing is telling you about that star. So it's called Sygny, and it has to do with the constellation of the Swan, Cygnus the Swan, and it's in the wing of the Swan. And here's what this is what Roderick Kidston, the writer of the software, says of this part of the software. Showy, the star is showy. It revels in the best life has to offer. It's ardent, it's idealistic and resilient, and it connects with truth for transformative results. And you can access the star for subtle magic. Now, don't forget what I said. I said that Hekate is a sorceress, right? She's like mysterious and magical and Halloweeny, and we can do subtle magic as Saturn becomes visible on the 29th degree, the anaretic degree, a very powerful, potent degree. Now, it can be a fame degree, it can be a turbulent degree, it can be an intense degree, but it's a powerful degree. And so Saturn at 29 Aquarius is opening up to that star that offers us the possibility for the best in life. But we've also encountered a triple threshold goddess energy. We've been at the thresholds of some turning point. In what part of our sky? The Gemini part. So now I'm going to go ahead and do the all signs and talk about how there is a crossroads turning point, decision-making moment. Are you going to go left, right, or straight? Because ultimately this destination can lead you to something very powerful to do with that Aquarius part of your sky. All right, so let's roll. And I'm not going to show you this because you're just going to see Saturn, sitting there. There's not much to talk about, right? So I'm going to stop that share because it's irrelevant, but I will do something special for you guys today. I will change the signs up because this might be a longer video than I anticipated, and it makes it easier to tell where we are in the narrative as we go through all signs. So for courtesy for you, I'm doing that. And I'm doing a lot of deep diving into Vedic astrology lately, and I've been learning more. And I'm a patron with one of my favorite Vedic astrologers as well, who I totally enjoy, Puneet's astrology. Shout out to him. And I've been learning Vedic astrology on my own now for about 3 years. And I'm finding it to be a nice complement to the wisdom of Hellenistic astrology. So I will maybe talk about a few concepts of Vedic stuff as I go through this with you guys today. Maybe for each sign. Darn it, it's not changing. There we go. Aries! Aries, sun, moon, and rising sign. This is our story. Well, I'm a sun and moon, but listen, please listen for your rising sign. I keep saying it over and over again. You know the drill. It will likely be more functionally, circumstantially accurate. All right. I'm just pulling away from a bunch of back end stuff that's bothering the heck out of me. We're going to talk about you. And I wish I could get rid of it all, but I've got all this Hekate stuff in front of me. Okay, that I was reading some Wikipedia Hekate for you earlier. All right, so let's get going about the crossroads choices you're facing based on this invisible, divinely inspired movement of Saturn off duty in the outer world, but maybe collaborating with the divine soul of the sun and figuring out what to do next for you. So first of all, if you are an Aries rising, especially, and sun and moon secondarily, all right, as I say all the time, what you're experiencing is the last time Saturn will join with the sun in Aquarius for another 30 years. So it's important, right? This is your 11th house of great gains from your career, your wish fulfillment, your dreams and hopes for your life, your larger friendship circle, an eldest sibling, and things to do with the idea of windfalls, like coming out of nowhere, like a sense of karmic and cosmic reward. And lastly, people who want to help you. So with Saturn moving through here, since like allies and friends and benefactors, acting like the eldest sibling would do, right? And if you want to think of it this way, Saturn could have brought you people in power and authority who are above you, expertise or something, to help you. Oh, since when? Since March of 2020. Well, I have to say that's true. I mean, I've been lucky enough to appear on various podcasts and various shows. And one of my dearest friends, her name is Daniela Hess, who owns Yoga Farm, was a super, super ally when I first started my astrology business. And it was during the Saturn transit back in 2020, 21, that she was such an ally to help me get my business going by sharing me with her Yoga Farm community. Have you then, as an Aries, Sun, Moon, or Rising, experienced those kinds of benefits? Go back and think about it. You may also have really been precise and leaned out your friendship circles, because Saturn does that in the 11th. People have to make the cut. Some of them may have passed away, sadly. Some people you may have exited out yourself and decided they weren't your people. I mean, really, it's all right. You know, not everybody is going to be your friend, or you are going to want them as your friend forever. We have to be realistic and say that we do not, you know, keep people forever in our lives, because sometimes we just outgrow them, or they outgrow us, whichever way. Or groups of belonging, you know, quitting clubs and stuff like that. I didn't renew my NCGR membership or anything like that. I've been like really delinquent in that kind of club stuff. Now, this isn't the last time, but there's a threshold experience happening here. That's what I wanted to focus on today. There's a lot I could say about this, right? I could go on in 1,000 different elements of this thing. But what I want to say is that we're looking at the energy here of a turning point, a crossroads in your third house relative to a fresh new reset button in your 11th. So this third house can be a change, a significant change with the way you do your marketing, your writing, or your selling. Things that may have to do with your third house of your local neighborhood and massive local neighborhood change, or you're at a crossroads. Is this the neighborhood for me? Is this where I want to be? Is this the thing I want to write? Is this the website for me? It can be changes in relationship to a sibling, especially a younger sibling. It may have a connection as well to things to do with travel and a turning point moment around an opportunity for travel. Now, will the opportunity show up on the Cazimi of the 16th of February? Maybe not. It's definitely could be a story that emerges as Saturn becomes visible again in the sky around the 6th, 7th of the month of March. But there is an embedded feeling of crossroads. And remember that as he rises, he does so in a co-joinment with, or a conjunction with, a very positive star that allows us to get the best of life out of life in some fundamental way. Okay. And it's a showy and operatic energy, or a show-offy star as well. If you want to show off in the 11th house, you can. That can be a little bit of micro celebrity popping for some of you who may be an Aries sun, moon, but more accurately rising sign. And last thing I want to say, the combustion of Saturn, you know, think about him being off duty all of February into the first week of March. This will influence things this will have an impact on the thing that he's impacting the most, which is this will be off duty, slow-mo, to do with your children. I mean, it's a cross away from your children, your 5th house of children, romance, and creative projects and independent business enterprise. Expect things to be kind of weirdly off. The off switch is off, because Saturn can't really do much to help your 5th house. And he can't do much to also focus on or help or engage in your 10th house from him, which is your 8th house. And your 8th house is your bank loans, your mortgages, your chunky money, your tax stuff. If I was in your shoes, I wouldn't try to file taxes in February. I would wait till he's visible again. Okay, like I'm going to do that myself. So 8th house things are kind of like dead in the water. 5th house children and stuff like that are dead in the water. You're just not getting much action, okay? Just don't even think about it. Don't even worry about it. Don't even try. And normally in a lot of ways, Saturn would be able to jumpstart your second house of finances and really up level you there and give you a lot of support, because he is communicating from the 11th to your second, and has a fortified and increase in your wealth, most likely through possessions and earnings and gains from your career since March 2020. It certainly has for me. But at this time in February, you may not receive what you normally are used to. There may be a delay in receiving that money for some reason. For that reason, I was thinking of launching my Sky Reader class. This is my derived from my sun and moon. Early in March. I may wait till the middle of March so I'm not stuck with this kind of Lord Saturn being invisible. All right. So there you go. I hope that's some useful prescriptive advice, as well as a general concept of what crossroads you're coming to in this particular time. All righty, let's keep going and moving on to the next sign. And I'm going to do the back end changing to the Taurus. Taurus, sun, moon, and rising sign. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Okay. Well, number one, in your sky, you're having this energy of the Saturn moving into his Cazimi, or heart of the sun moment. And in your sky, I just lost my back end chart. I apologize. The software, it's called Astro Gold. I can't complain. I really like it, but damn it, I upgraded today to the latest version, and it's like, I don't know what's wrong with it. It's so slow. I need to like tell the people, can I revert back to the old? Thank you. Sorry, it's just like, anyway, not complaining. Taurus, sun, moon, and rising sign, especially rising sign. Alrighty, and if you're in the live premiere, hit the like button, please, please, pretty please, thank you. Helps the channel grow immensely. Such a simple act. You don't have to actually like what I'm saying. It's just like saying thank you. That's all. It's like, yes, you're going to help boost the channel because thanks for putting this stuff out there. All right, so Taurus, Lord Saturn is sitting in your 10th house, and he is going to be invisible. He's going to be invisible all month, all of February to the 6th of March. And he goes into the heart of the sun on the 16th for a new mission and a reset. This is the last, as I said in the beginning, time he'll be here for 30 years of your life. As he goes into the heart of the sun, especially, he's asking you to step into the idea of a crossroads choice to do with your earnings, your money, and your possessions. By possessions, it could be anything you own. It's also your financial assets. It's also your self-worth. It's your second house. This is where the triple crossroads goddess of go left, right, or straight is sitting. Saturn is getting divine instruction from the sun, king of the heart of the solar system, King Sol. And so he's doing his best to help you. And when he becomes a visible planet again, and we see him in the sky in the beginning of March, around the 5th or so, at that powerful 29th degree anaretic of your 10th house. Did I say 10th house? Yeah, of reputation and career. Something about your career and your reputation, your money and your earnings and your possessions is coming to a critical juncture. And because we have a positive star on Saturn as he rises at the 29th degree and becomes a visible dude again, you may find something very positive happening in the career and reputation space. It allows you to feel that you can activate subtle magic. That's a star I talked about earlier, Glenna, Sygny, or begin to operate in your best life, but your best life regarding reputation, career, and all of that. And if you don't have a job, it's whatever you're doing in the world. Like, no one just sits around and watch Netflix as your purpose. So what is your purpose that anyone can see you doing, even if you're retired, even if you're a housewife, even if or a house husband, even if you're a student. Saturn being invisible means that he has no extra juice, right? To help you with a lot of things, and a little bit concerned for any Tauruses have to deal with things that are really important to them in the house of academics or the house of courts or the house of long distance foreign lands and travel. So don't try in February to win the day in courts or get that ticket to travel anywhere, because that Capricorn ninth house is kind of also blanketed out or off duty for you. Saturn will be unable to support or do anything to do with property, land, home, and real estate. Across the way, he has no agency there, although he's looking across at it. He cannot support you in any regard in that manner, nor can he in any way help you 10 houses from where he is, which normally he could be really active in. So contracts, legal agreements, and vows and marriages and marriage and business contracts are really having a hard time when he's invisible. Maybe it means a delay. Maybe it's all it's saying, but just know it's not the most strong place, nor is he able in any meaningful way to significantly support you when it comes to things to do with your health? Alrighty, so this is not a time to start a bold new health regime. It's time to wait until you see him opening up into visibility after the 5th of the month of March. Does that make sense? I think it does. So we were talking about his angular placements, just so you know, all right? Talking about the places he has the most impact on as he moves into this invisibility. He no longer has any way to support you in those areas. I would tell you, though, that I am optimistic that if there is a delay in health, in home and real estate, contracts, legal affairs, and business partnerships, or court and court matters, that hopefully what we're seeing as he becomes visible is something positive. But because of that star he's rising on, but you do have a crossroads decision-making energy here that's pretty critical around your earnings and your possessions, that you may have to come to, like a come to Jesus moment about those things. Also, the crossroads energy is in the house of your face, and the house of things you put in your mouth, and the house of the food you eat, and the house of the way you speak and things you speak into the world. So there may be massive turning points and crossroads developments there, as well as your doctor says, you're a celiac, you can never eat gluten. You're going, oh my God, crossroads moment for sure. I'm going to stop that gluten, things like that. So just ponder all of that as a Taurus rising more accurate, secondarily for the sun and moon Taurus people. Alrighty, does that make sense? I hope so. Now we're moving on to the next sign, and the next sign is Gemini. Hey, there we go. Oh my goodness. Did you guys know I have a playlist for all the 2023 big transits, including Saturn moving into Pisces? Go check it out in my playlist, because you don't want to miss some of these amazing things, like the Mercury elemental air year that I just did with Gary Caton, getting a lot of great feedback for that video as well. Earth year, elemental earth year. So go check out my playlist. All right. Gemini, sun, moon, particularly of most accurate rising. So Saturn, time, karma, constriction, restriction, but also tangible results, God, all right, is moving in your into the invisible zone all of February to March the 6th, in your 9th house of temples, foreign lands and travel, God, court cases, religion, academia, book publishing, etc. If any of those areas are important to you, just know that there is a delay or something that's not happening that you would like to happen, because Saturn is unable to make it happen when he is invisible. So consider that he's been in that part of your sky since 2020 March, and he's exiting forever on March the 7th. So this is his grand finale. And as he gets ready, he goes into the heart of the sun on the February 16th, while in a trine to crossroads Hekate, the goddess of the triple crossroads, trivia, the three ways, trivia. So if you have to make some decisions, I wouldn't be surprised this month about which way to go. And it's which way to go regarding things to do with your body, your identity, and your health. Because this is in the house of you. The three ways are presented in that area of your life. Saturn being invisible all of this month, as I said, into the first week of March, means that also you may not have the outcome you want with taxes, investments, loans, shared money with your partner, money that you don't earn directly, right? Chunky money, inheritances. There are delays. There are problems here. There are things that aren't showing up the way you expect. Certainly not a good time for you to file taxes. Wait till after the end of February into early March. Wait till you have Saturn visible at the very least. Second of all, if you want to think about where Saturn normally brings influence to you any way, because he can witness them the angular houses, as he looks across to the third house of your siblings, travel, website, local neighborhood, writing and communication and online world stuff, he is unable to make any influence one way or the other. And, because Saturn's in his home sign of Aquarius, which I could have said earlier, he's in dignity, having him invisible is not ideal, not a good time to launch a website, not a good time to plan or take that trip, not a good time to have that difficult conversation with a sibling or whatever else. He also has no influence or ability to actively support you when it comes to 10th from where he's sitting, which is your 7th house of legal contracts, agreements, documents you sign, vows and oaths, agreements you would make to do with any kind of agreement, whether it's a job agreement or a spousal agreement or whatever. A legal contract agreement is like really not the time. Again, delays. And it's also a time he just can't support you in any positive and meaningful way regarding long-term committed love stories. And he's also completely dead in the water and not helpful around your self-defeating habits and patterns, your addictions of the 12, things to do with jails and ashrams and foreign lands and foreign shores and transactions, monetary transactions that involve foreign lands are all pretty also in delay or off the table right now. So keep in mind that this is not going to be always true. He does become visible against a powerful star of, being able to activate your best life and a connection to subtle magic when on the 6th of March. And so wait for his visibility to see where these things land, and don't push against the stream or the current. For God's sakes, don't try to shove a divorce into action here, because you don't have any support for mutual resources being given fair due and legal agreements working on your behalf to do with contracts and agreements. So wait. If that was anything relevant to your life, this is just making up examples for you, okay? Certainly not a good time to push anything to do with reaching a larger market share or audience as well. Just let this thing settle and see what happens when he becomes visible in the month of March. Next sign is the sign of Cancer. I'm hoping this is more prescriptive for you guys. I'm writing my book, Deep Code Astrology, and my podcast will be coming out, and I'm really excited. I'm so excited. I had this deep, powerful dream to do this about a month and a half ago, and now this is one of my missions for the end of this year, to have that all up and running. Okay, so if you happen to be a Cancer sun, moon, but a more accurate, I would say, would be your rising sign, then having Lord Saturn since March of 2020, beginning to move through your 8th house of shared resources with a spouse or partner, monies from the inheritances or investments in the stock market, or monies that this is 8th house money, or monies that have a connection to insurance and taxes, has been a place of interesting, maybe focus, but with a sense of anxiety maybe, or hardship, or diligence and perseverance, Saturn going through this part of your sky. And if you're into occult mysteries like tarot and astrology and magic, Saturn may have gotten you to get more disciplined about learning and studying these things. But he's on his last of the 3-year transit, the last heart of the sun reset with a mission for you. The Cazimi on February 16th is going to be in a flowing positive trine to the triple goddess of massive decisions that are pivotal in your life. Like, it could also be decisions you're making with your spouse or partner, because Saturn here may have suppressed your partner's money during the last 3 years, and now there may be some turning point decisions around shared resources. And as you're looking at this goddess in the Gemini area, 27 Gemini, on the time of this Cazimi, it could literally look like something to do with a turning point decision about a trip to a foreign shore, money-making endeavors that involve income from foreign lands, things to do with a turning point regarding a difficult hidden secret or addiction, or even a secret love affair for some of you. And lastly, it could have a turning point energy around making a crossroads decision about which way to go regarding anything to do with your 12th house. Now, that's a very spiritual house to do with God and religion, and Saturn is going to go into the house of God on March the 7th, and you may be like stepping into a new spiritual faith of some sort with this transit energy, and you may be making some decisions around what you believe and what you wish to believe regarding the nature of reality, God, meaning of life, truth, and wisdom. However, it could also be a very strong turning point regarding a completing, moving in a new direction away from some kind of intractable karmic baggage, some 12th house of your past lives, karmic baggage. You may not know exactly what it is until you let it go, but you may be hitting a crossroads energy. Especially watch when Saturn becomes visible around the 6th of the month of March, and you'll kind of maybe get a heads up about it's time to let go of that, whatever that thing is, karmic baggage or psychological, psycho-spiritual, emotional baggage, okay, that holds you back in life, your own self-undoing, your own self-defeating stuff. Saturn can no longer support any kind of goodness when he's invisible, one way or the other, to do with your audience, your marketplace, your clients, your 7th house, which is 10th from 10th, things to do with your spouse and his life or her life or your relationship to them, and things to do, because that's a Capricorn zone, right? And Saturn's like invisible in the sky, and that's his house, so he's like off duty when he's invisible, and he cannot even support you in that 7th house in any way. If you want to sign a legal document or contract, please wait until Saturn is visible again, and he can witness your 7th house as well better from the 9th. Okay, so legal contracts and a document should try to wait until March the 6th if you can. Now, the other thing is Saturn looking across the way at your 2nd house of earnings and income, can't support it, can't harm it, it's just not doing anything to help you there. Saturn can not be of any use to you. He also has a complete inability to be of any useful support when it comes to asking friends for or allies or benefactors to help you, for getting any kind of great gain off the ground from your career, for actualizing a dream or wish, or getting some kind of a result from an eldest sibling. You might have to wait till March the 6th before anything really shows up there. And finally, Saturn also is not able to help you with your children or your romantic life or your independent business enterprise. That's the 10th from where he sits, because he's invisible. And these are places where he'd have strong influence, but when he's visible, the angular houses, but he's not helping there either. So not a good time to have a difficult conversation with the kid, try to support a child, try to conceive a child, and not a really good time as well to do anything radically dramatic regarding any independent business enterprise. And if you start a new romance under invisible Saturn in your 8th, I think you're going to be in trouble. Uh-oh, there's my door. Gotta go see what it is. I think you're going to find that will not have a good outcome. Sorry, guys, that was my doorbell. Somebody delivered a parcel to my doorstep. Who knows what it is? Okay, so that's it. So yeah, the romance thing. Oh, I'd be afraid of like secret love affairs and infidelities if Saturn invisible in the 8th house starts up there. Oh, new relationship. Sorry, just saying, it looks a little gnarly to me. But anyway, we will continue going on with the story. Woo! I was jumping up and down the stairs there. Okay, Leo. All right, Leo, sun, moon, and rising sign. But always listen most accurately. If you're in the to your rising, if you're in the premiere, you have yet to hit my like button, or you just came in, I so appreciate the support. When you hit the like button, it tells the YouTube algorithm to share my video with more people. And then when you do that, my channel grows. My daughter's telling me when to do this. All right. So, let's see. Let's keep going. Next thing I want to tell you guys about Leo is this. Lord Saturn is moving through your, oh, excuse me, having a moment. Yes. Where was I? Leo. Yeah, I'm going to have to speed myself up here. Lord Saturn is moving for the Leo people for the last 3 years through your 7th house of marriage and your audience and marketplace, and sometimes your legal contracts that you need to sign with agreements. Now, this is not the worst transit. It could mean you start dating, meet an older person or a more mature person, or you move in, like you get a committed relationship with an older person. That happened to me when that transit was in effect in 2004. Dated a guy like 18 years older, 17 years older, 16 years older, whatever. Actually, we were together for 2 years. So it was a significant relationship. But in your life, this is also what it could have been, but it makes your marriage hard. If you have a marriage, it may feel constraining and restrictive, or there may have been hardships you're spouse or partner was going through, including challenges to their physical health. And during that time, you may have just felt like you were unable to really get things off the ground in terms of marketing or selling or reaching your clients and audience. Now, here's Saturn coming into the heart of the sun on the 16th, while he flows to the triple goddess Hekate in your 11th house of good spirit. There's a crossroads turning point moment around groups of belonging, friendships, alliances, some of your deepest dreams and wishes and hopes for your life. You may be really making some crossroads decisions there. You may also be making some decisions around how you get great gains from your career, how you earn the money that you're earning from your career place. You may make some changes or decisions about how that's going to look. This probably wouldn't be like, I'm just going to change my job. Some of you may make decisions like, I'm going to change my career, or this isn't my new path. You know, in order to be able to affect my dreams and get my great gains, I need to change my career path, that kind of thing. Also, I would say that, you know, your eldest sibling, the eldest sibling above you could be potentially the 11th house person. There may be some changes or decisions in that relationship. Or a friend who's an ally may present you with something, especially when Saturn becomes visible around the 6th of March, which is presenting you with a turning point decision that may involve a contract or legal matter. Alrighty? It could even be a job offer. And because the 11th house allies could bring us great gains from our career. So a career offer, job offer, something like that, crossroads decision-making power. Lord Saturn is unable to support you in any possible way when he's invisible, which is the entirety of February to the first week of March, because he's invisible. Things in your marriage and significant love life relationship to some committed partner are pretty well in delay mode. If you make decisions under the delay of Saturn, you may regret them. Just try to hold off on major choices at this point. Saturn is indignant. He would help you make the right decision. I don't know how well that would work when he's invisible. He also can't help you in regards to tenancies, leases, agreements to rent or sell, to rent a place or rent out a place. He's also not able to help you with removing debt or going on dates or improving your health if you have a problem, because the 6th house is also his domain, and when he's invisible, he can't support you there either, just so you know. And it's not a good time to get a new pet, the 6th house of pets, because invisible Saturn has no say in the matter, and you may end up with a problem pet. And then you also have Saturn can't help you in any of the other angles that he's operating toward. He does not have the ability to be of any decent support in your physical body, health, and wellness. He can't really do anything much to help you in your 10th house of career and reputation, nor can he help you with things to do with home, property, real estate, your mother, and your family of origin stuff. Those other houses are also affected. Places where he'd normally have some agency, he has none. So keep that in mind, right? That's to be considered. It's important, especially for you. The Lord of your body, Leo, is the sun, and Saturn and the sun are together, and Saturn is invisible and the sun is blinding him. And in a lot of ways, I'd say, yes, just know that it's certainly not a good time to start a whole new diet style, exercise regime, or anything to do with dramatic attempts to improve your health that are outside the realm of, you know, your normal experience. I think March 6th and Saturn becomes a visible planet, then you may begin to proceed, especially when he rises on the beautiful star Sygny, which is a positive star, as I said in the intro. Okay. If I go a little faster for the rest of the signs, I apologize, but I didn't realize what time it was, and I have to pick my daughter up around 4, so I've got half an hour to finish everyone else. Okay, we'll see how I do. And I do my best to give people all the same amount of time. Of course, it doesn't always work out. Yeah. All right. It doesn't always work out. But when you tell me that you're upset with me because I gave you like 30 seconds left than another sign, get a grip. This is free content. And I'm extra diligent around Pisces because they always feel the most put out somehow. Anyway. Okay. So Virgo, sun, moon, and rising sign. Yeah, especially. Saturn is the lord of your, Saturn is going through your 6th house where he has lordship in his home sign of Aquarius. He's been doing that for you ever since March of 2020. A lot of Virgos encountered this as a health challenge. Now, Saturn here, he's a lord of karma in a house of karma, karmic debt. And a lot of times health challenges that involve the transits to the 6th, you can call them more deeply embedded in other lifetimes than just this one. You could say that maybe. And Saturn here, maybe he was bringing up illnesses or health challenges for some of you because you had to confront some deeper layers of yourself to do with how you may be complicit in your challenges with health, or maybe some of your health challenges are, under the rubric of a deeper karmatic thing, something like that. On the other hand, he made you work hard. Ever since 2020 March, you have been grinding. And sometimes that's also because it's a house of slavery, the house of work, the house of servitude, the house of serfdom. This is where he makes you work hard, even if it wasn't that house, so he's making you work hard in your job, in your work. Your work may have felt like a burden, your job may have felt like a burden. You're like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm getting out of this, or something like just working hard. You also may have had a boss that was really constraining and restrictive. Saturn moving through your sixth and represent trouble with superiors that feel like they're really squishing you down and stuff like that. My daughter had a bit of that in her life. She's Virgo rising. And this is going to leave on March the 7th. Check out my playlist for the movement of Saturn into your marriage house. That's going to be another story that's very important for you as a Virgo rising. But as Saturn goes into the heart of the sun on the 16th and forms a perfect, almost perfect trine of flow to the asteroid of the triple crossroads, the three ways you can go, the deep sorcery, the magic, but also the mother of angels in your 10th house, Hekate. There's a turning point decision you're making regarding career or job or purpose, something like that. Go left, go right, go straight. I feel like you're going to make the right decision because you've got a lot of beneficence here with the sky being, connected to this mother of angels at the decision-making point. Will you have a decision to make around the 15th, 16th, 17th around the Cazimi? Maybe. Or will you make that decision when Saturn is visible? Probably, and that's around March the 6th, but I don't know for sure. I'm an empiricist of astrology, right? I'm guessing that's what it'll look like, but who knows? I make an assumption, a hypothesis, and I'll see how it works out for most of my Virgo friends. And I have enough of them that they're my little mini test tube of what will happen to the Virgos. I have enough of Virgo risings and Virgo suns and all that in my life. The other thing I want to say, I can't get comfortable. I'm just miking up here and trying to find the way. Saturn cannot help you with fertility, having children, getting pregnant when he's invisible. He can't help you getting romance strengthened, starting a new romance. He can't help you with your children. He can't help you with your independent business enterprise, and he cannot help you in the lottery. It's not time to go into any gaming, okay? Do not do gaming or trying to win things. And that's going to be true all the way through February to March the 6th, because he can't not help you at all in your 5th house, his other house in your sky. Nor does he help you very much when he's invisible with making accurate decisions or choices around your health. And if you're wondering if your health is ever going to improve, yes, absolutely. And your work is going to be less difficult. We need Saturn to be visible again. That's around March the 6th, and he'll probably give you a nice turning point boost in health or work or job things. He's also off duty all of February to the first week of March and helping you with foreign lands and travel, getting rid of your addictions. Probably not the best time to start a sobriety program. He will not be able to help you as well with third house matters to do with travel, siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins, your website, and your local neighborhood. And he will not be able to fortify or support you in any meaningful way around things to do with foreign land travel, court and cases, legal matters, visas, or academic environment stuff. Now, does he debilitate you in those areas? No, but he's not helping. So it's not the time to ask the professor for a favor. It's not the time to try to plot that trip to a foreign land. Wait till he's visible after March the 6th. Hope that makes sense for all of you. Invisible planets are impotent in the real world. They're doing back-end stuff with the divine mind, and they're plotting the next thing. A delay is at hand, right? Oh, was I on Virgo? And I forgot to change it. Sorry. So, but it is Virgo, not Leo. And oh well, sorry about that, guys. So much to do, so much to do. Sorry, that was Virgo, but I just had the backdrop for Leo, and I apologize. All right, continuing with the narrative. Libra, sun, moon, and rising sign. Well, first of all, let's get my back end all fixed up again. All right, Libra. Well, first of all, Saturn has been moving for the last 3 years since March of 2020, and we'll be back for 30 more years through your house of children, romance, sexuality, and your own creativity, inspiration, joy, play, pleasure, and the muse, and your independent business. Now, I know one Libra person who found her independent business model to be quite exhausting for her during this transit at various points. Also, most Libras I know have had repression of their sexual life or repression of their romantic life in some meaningful way. Saturn is all work, no play. Your joy factor has been down. You've been working hard. Fun is on the low end of the to-do list. Now, Saturn will leave here in March, and things will change. Certainly, with his Cazimi on February the 5th in a trine to Hekate, the triple crossroads. Which direction are you going to go, goddess? It's a choice you're trying to make as a Libra rising, especially Sun and Moon secondarily, about things to do with academic environments, book publishing, God, courts and court matters, foreign land travel, and your deeper beliefs about the meaning of life, your ninth house. Some big choice points are coming, and that may be most obvious to you when Saturn is visible about which way that choice energy is taking you, and that visibility is around March the 6th. Now remember, he's deeply invisible through the entirety of February to the 6th of March, and that means that he's off duty on all angular houses to where he is sitting, which is your 5th, and he's also completely impotent in your 4th. Your 4th house is property, home, and real estate, domestic environment. Not a good time to buy or sell a property, not a good time to try to do anything significant regarding property, land, and real estate. And because of this, you're not getting much traction there. So you just wait until March the 6th to really see what you can do. As well, Saturn has no real agency over things to do with getting friends from favors from friends, of getting greater financial gain from your career path. These are 11th house things that are off duty right now. He no longer can support you when he's invisible. As well, in 8th house matters to do with stock investments, taxes, insurance, and mortgages, inheritances, and shared resources with spouse or business partner. He can't help you, so don't ask for it. Do not make any big changes in your stock portfolio. If you can help it, he's not supportive. As well as he cannot help you with anything to do with your possessions and earnings and earned income of your 2nd house, especially if you're thinking of things like maybe, wanting to buy or sell a new possession. I'd wait. And, your food style is your 2nd house. And if you're all confused about what you want to do in terms of things you eat, or put in your mouth, or anything to do with your face, like do not do cosmetic or facial surgery here. I mean, why would we care what Saturn says about face stuff? Well, I mean, basically, he's in dignity in your 5th house. You want a joyful surgical outcome if you can avoid it. I mean, he's not angular to your 2nd house. He's not supporting it, nor is he resisting it. He's just dead in the water, dead in the water. The 10th house from where he sits is your 2nd house of earnings, and nor can he really help you with your 11th house or your 8th. They're all money houses. So if you're a Libra, this is definitely a time where money stuff is going to be invisible or delayed or non-satisfactory, and trying to push against that won't work. So try your best to wait until March the 6th when he is a visible planet rising on Glenna, Sygny, and bringing you your best life. Oh, yes, you got to drink water when you're on this show here. Okay. And then we're going to talk next about Scorpio. So I need to change the picture. Poor Virgo. Yeah, Virgo's had the Leo sign up for the whole time. Are you listening in my live premiere and you haven't hit the like button? Why not? All you do is when you hit that button, what that tells YouTube is somebody likes it, especially on the premiere. And when we're done, it goes, let's share it with more people to see if they like it too. So that's all. That's all. If you help me out, I would appreciate it. We're going to have a contest soon, or after, I don't know. You're gonna have the contest after. I would have had a contest for the Valentine's Neptune thing with Venus. So you'll be listening to me after that contest. Oh yeah. Okay. I love giving away freebies. We're gonna do a big freebie, three giveaways on that one. I will have done it by the time you're listening to this. If you don't know what I'm talking about, when you subscribe to my channel, hit the bell for notifications and follow me on the community tab of YouTube, where I'm often posting when a contest is coming up. You can come to my live chat premieres, and anyone who's in the room gets in the name in a hat, and people win prizes from me. Okay, I'm a prize giving away astrologer. Okay, where was I? Scorpio. My son's a Scorpio rising. One of my best friends is a Scorpio sun. So we do like Scorpio here. So Saturn is moving into finishing his 3-year stay in your fourth house and leaves on March 7th. But before that, he's doing his magical crossroads story. So let's talk about it. So first of all, he is invisible, right? All the way through February until about the 6th of March. And that means that things to do with your fourth house are off duty, FYI. So don't try to buy, sell property or renovate your home or, do major changes to what you do in or about your home. Give yourself some time and wait till March the 6th. That's when things can move forward in a positive way, as well as things to do with your local neighborhood, your siblings, trips and travel are also kind of delayed because Saturn is the ruler of your third house Capricorn area. And he has, again, an invisible status. It would be literally like planning a trip and maybe it doesn't work, or planning a trip and having it stall out or something like that. Secondly, he will meet the triple crossroads trine goddess in Gemini, and that's going to happen on the 16th. This is in your money house, to do with taxes and mortgages and inheritances and loans and things to do with chunky money. It's a money decision-making time, a crossroads for you. I mean, the only other way to make it look real would be you're making some decisions around your deeper spiritual beliefs and your connection to the mysterious realm of the dead or the other world. Certainly that could happen here. But for the practical part of the story, it's like, okay, things to do with home and eighth house often look like mortgages, taxes, real estate endeavors, loans, I said mortgages, inheritances from the family of origin, legacy wealth. Crossroads decisions may be coming up for you. Now, even though the Cazimi itself is happening actually on the 16th, you're probably not going to have a decision on the day of the Cazimi. More likely, when Saturn becomes visible, he executes the crossroads energy, but he rises on the 6th of March against the star Sygny at the very tail end, a potent 29th degree of your fourth house. So major turnaround decisions and actions can happen to do with those property, home, real estate, taxes, stories I just mentioned, all of that stuff. Don't expect much help from Combust Saturn because he's invisible in the sky all through February into the first week of March. When it comes to matters of the following: career success, promotions and raises, or ambition in your career, let it go. Don't ask for the promotion yet, or you do, you'll know there'll likely be a delay. Saturn is not able to witness a 10th. I mean, he's invisible. He can't help you there. Nor can he help you with your marriage or legal contracts and agreements. He can't help your 7th house matters, nor is he able to impact or influence you as well in his 10th from 10th placement, which is your first house. He cannot support you to make decisions about your body, your health, or your identity. It's a good time to just wait around your identity, your health, your body, wait around your home, your land, your property, wait around marriage and legal contracts and decisions, and wait around things to do with your career and your out pictures of success in your visible reputation. All of that is kind of like lay low. Things will start to percolate in the visible world at the end of this transit of his combustion. Okay. Keep it on. Let's go on to the next sign. All right. Are you a Sagittarius, sun, moon, and rising, especially rising? Well, then, having Saturn since 2007 moving through your third house of your neighborhood and your siblings and your online world and your writing and traveling has been a challenge. A lot of Sagittarius have felt restrictions around travel, restrictions around sibling relationships, struggles and challenges to, focus on things in the neighborhood. The neighborhood felt like a heavy drag. You might have felt contained and restricted and stuck regarding your neighborhood or your online endeavors or your writing projects. So Sagittarius people, are you getting ready to end this story on March the 7th, of course, but it's been 3 years of that. This is the youngest sibling if you have one, and so that person may have been also a drag on you or had some challenges to their health. Now, this is going to leave, but before it does, there's some stories unfolding. Number one, Saturn will come into a Cazimi with the Sun on February 16th and form a flowing and harmonious trine to the triple goddess of crossroads decisions. Which way will you go when it comes to legal matters that require contractual agreements? Which, when it comes 7th house stuff, when it comes to your spouse, decisions around marriage, commitment, long-term relationship, business partnership, things to do with how you reach your audience and marketplace, all of these things are coming to a turning point decision. Now, even though the Cazimi is happening on the 16th. You may not be able to realize the decision or even see the turning point emerge until around the 6th or so of the month of March, as Saturn becomes once again a visible planet in the sky, and we can now see him and he can do things for us. While he's invisible the entire month of February until about the 6th of March, you do not want to try to push into the reality stream things to do with courts and visas, things to do with religion and belief, book publishing, and foreign shores and foreign lands. It's not a good time to make ninth house things happen at all. It's not a good time to try to get things to really work for you, to go do signing leases, pets, or paying off debts. And it's not, or even dating. And it's really not a great time either to try to kick that bad habit, ditch that self-defeating structure in your life, or to try to make money or revenue from foreign shores and lands. Okay, without telling you all the houses, it's just the angular houses to where Saturn is sitting in your third. We were talking about those houses 6, 9, and 12. Okay, and certainly because Saturn also owns your earnings house, which is Capricorn, and he is impotent right now in the Capricorn zone as well, all through the month of February. He has no potency. And with impotent people like sexuality, it means without potency, no power. You will find that your second house is like where you want to buy or sell something, not working, where you like buy a property, sell a possession, where you're thinking what you could get some cash flow or revenue or earnings going, not happening. So this is also an area of delay in your life. So just breathe through it. It will not be there by the 6th of March. I think I'm going to do this. I'm pulling this off in a timely manner. And for those of you who feel like you're not getting enough time, I don't know what to say. I don't even care. I don't care. Get a grip. Get a grip. Oh my goodness. I don't think I've ever once in all the years that I've been watching YouTube astrologers, and as an astrologer, we watch other astrologers, right? I have my faves, I love Marin Altman, I love Lada Denchiva, I love Victor, I love Crassi, I love Ksenia Moore, I love Cam White. These are my faves, some of my faves, the big names of faves. I mean, I have my cohorts that are about the same level in astrology on YouTube as me too, that I also love, like Justina Rossi and stuff. Okay, so moving on, and Louise Eddington, like moving on. So, I just have my own faves that I listen to, but I never go, oh, you didn't give me as much time as the sign before or after. And yes, I told you I was going to stop complaining. I'm still doing it. Uh-oh. Where am I going? Capricorn. Yeah, sorry guys. I'm having issues. You can see I have a tech problem going on. Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising sign, especially rising sign. So let's talk about this story. Saturn has been moving for a long time, since March of 2020, through your money house, the earnings house, possessions house. Now for you, because he's your lord, he's the guy in charge of your rising sign, especially sun and moon secondarily. You don't necessarily mind when the taskmaster hits your second house. For a lot of you, you saved more money, you were more conservative, you were more structured, you were looking at the long game strategy with your earnings and money and possession story. So that probably wasn't all that bad, actually. And so he is leaving his sort of like stewardship and taskmaster of money for you and possessions, and also food. A lot of you probably leaned out your food style and decided to eat more sattvic, or to change your food. Sattvic meaning like, healthier foods that are not so dramatically, sluggish for you, or excitable, rajasic or tamasic. You were going for the calmer food style, moderating your food, taking care of your substance abuse challenges, and moderating your alcohol, wine, and cigarettes, and dope or whatever. So that was going on, and that's done. It's done on March the 7th. You're done with that 3-year story for 30 years, 30 more years before it comes back. Saturn will move into the heart of the sun on February 16th. That Cazimi moment is important. As he moves into the heart of the sun, Lord Saturn will form a flowing crossroads goddess connection to Hekate in your 6th house, coming to a crossroads turning point around leases, tenancies, pets, dating, debts, karmic and real, and health and work decisions. So all of that is coming to a thresholds, crossroads, triple goddess, left, right, or straight, which way am I going? turning point, but it's going to work out because it's a flowing, opportune trine that is happening here between Saturn and Hekate. She's also the mother of angels. How bad can that be? Seriously. And so there is that feeling that this is emerging for you as Saturn is finishing the story, this grand finale of a turning point. And I don't know which way it's going to go because it's a crossroads. You may not be able to approach the crossroads effectively until around the 6th of March because you want to see maybe Saturn to be a visible planet, so you know what the visible choices are, but who knows, maybe you can see choices as early as February 16th, 17th or so. Saturn will be invisible and deeply useless to you during the entirety of February through to March the 6th. Not a good time for your money story. It's not a good time to sell a property or sell a car or buy something. It's not a good time to try to change something with your earnings and financial structures. It's not a good time to do anything dramatic with your stock market investments, 401k, retirement plan, or negotiating money with a spouse about shared resources, because he also can't impact you positively in your natal 8th house. He's also not really good for helping you in your Capricorn 1st house either when he's invisible. Not a good time to do anything for your body that requires a medical procedure. Not a good time to make any decisions about your life because you are the 1st house, because you may not be doing them. There may be a delay in outcomes, or you may just simply not know what to do properly yet. Again, a lot of you, I just say kind of breathe and hold still until you get to the end of the story, which is March the 6th. Saturn also is not able to support you with romantic things, your children, your independent entrepreneurial stuff, your creative projects. 5th house matters. He's also completely useless when it comes to, when it comes to things to do with your great gains from your career, favors from friends who can be allies, hopes, dreams, and wishes, and any idea that you're possibly going to get some pennies from heaven. So your 11th house is offline as well. Yes, like some other signs, it's impacting you on the money angles of your chart. So it's really like a pause button or a delay button here until at least March the 6th. If you can be cautious around money, and if you can also wait until you do something significant regarding your body, if there's anything you're thinking of doing, that would be probably the best idea. And especially with Lord Saturn being conjunct the Sun and the Cazimi, and the Sun is the Lord of your 8th house, of your spousal shared resources, business partner money, investment money, inheritance money, both the 8th house Lord and Saturn co-joined and Saturn invisible. That's an area of particular scrutiny and caution for you. For whatever you do not put all your money down on stock number 12. You know what I mean? Wait. Or don't sell something if you think you're going to sell at the bottom. I don't know. I'm not your financial advisor. No astrologer is, or health advisor. I'm just telling you, be careful around money that does belong to inheritance, taxes, insurance, investments, and shared resources with a spouse. Okay? Aquarius, us, we are Aquarius, hear us roar, the water bearers, the water bearer society. I think I should start that club. Okay, Saturn, we're born with Saturn as the Lord of our sky, so we are familiar like Capricorns with Saturn, and for the most part, depending on the condition of Saturn in your personal natal chart, you probably don't mind him so much, but it has been a haul. Saturn has, since March of 2020, been moving through the house of our body, and it has not been easy. I know that. I've been there. And I would tell you that in this experience, it was us growing up, adulting up, powering up, super powering up, becoming more of our authentic, sober-minded, sage-like wise man and woman, at the expense sometimes of getting what we wanted. You know what I mean? It's like Saturn is like the sort of the realistic one. And also when it came to health or health matters, if any of us have felt like, okay, it's been a haul, it's been a challenge, both Saturn in the 12th and the 1st can lead to health challenges. And we've been going through that for 6 years. But Saturn isn't out to kill us. He's out to strengthen us and create a new foundation for better health for the next 30 years. So let's give him applause. Yay, Saturn. Thank you for the hard work on health. All right. This is the month where Saturn is going to be meeting with the Sun in his invisible moment in the heart of the sun on the 16th in a flowing trine to the Gemini triple crossroads goddess. Oh, a triple crossroads regards to romantic love, sexuality, and our children. A crossroads threshold, which way do we go regarding our independent business enterprise, our creativity and creative projects. It's exciting. Which way do we go regards to fertility and pregnancy decisions and things like that for those of you that makes sense. So there's this big energy of a crossroads being percolated in February. Now, possibly we know that crossroads is here in middle of February, or possibly we have to wait till March the 6th to know that there is indeed this way, that way, or straight ahead that we're facing in this area. Whichever way, because Saturn rises on a positive star called Sygny, which is about, living your best life and also has a subtle magic to it. I'm pretty happy with how it's going to work out. And when you talk about a crossroads, and we always see the word decision, and then we get into divine agency, fate, and free will. But whatever this turning point decision-making energy is, it's going to be good, especially with the mother of angels and the protector of travelers herself, Hekate, in the story as well. I would say it is also a time, all of February to the first week of March, as I said, for every sign, to not make any major life changes and decisions regarding health and body, because he's the lord of that part of the sky and he's invisible and he's still there. It's also not a good time to make decisions about foreign land, travel and trips, ashrams, jails, insane asylums, or things to do with money, decisions around money you make from foreign shores and lands. Not even just decisions, that kind of is like a bit down in the dumps or invisible or delayed. So I am an Aquarius rising and I was going to launch my sky reader at the very beginning of March, meaning I'd be launch ramping in February. Hindsight is, in 2020, but I think maybe I'm not going to do that now. Looking at the sky, I might launch the course in the middle of March. And then what I'll be doing is I'll be launching when Saturn is visible. If Saturn's in my first house, for me to launch a course with an invisible Saturn in the house of my identity means that my promotions will be invisible. So I'm not going to do that. Second of all, you would find that other areas that Saturn has dominion over are also quite useless. So or not dominion over, I should say, but like that he can witness in the sky. So normally he'd be witnessing your 7th house of marriage partners, legal contracts, and marketplace that audience and clients. But when he's invisible, he's not even looking at them. So there's a delay in outcomes, or there's a weakness in his influence there. Saturn in dignity in the house of you as Lord of your sky. You want him, he's your helmsman, to witness those 7th house stories. So let yourself rest easy until March the 6th regarding those narratives as well. He cannot witness or support you to do with home and real estate and domestic private life matters. He's unable to witness your 4th house. So it's not a good time to buy or move or sell or rent a new place or whatever. Just don't go there. Let that sit. Do not do anything until March the 6th if you can avoid it. And last but not least, he's like totally oblivious to your 10th house of reputation, 10th house of ambition and career success, 10th house of your visible actions in the world. Well, hello. Don't ask for the raise or promotion. Don't promote your new course. Don't do anything. Just wait. February, you can look at it like in the first week of March, first 6 days of March, as like your own cave. Saturn is a cave dwelling monk, sadhu, person who like sits with, I climbed the mountain, I talked to the sage in the mountain cave in the Himalayas. That's one version of Saturn, right? He's the Senex, the wise man, the crone, the sage, and he's like invisible in the house of you. Like you could simply say for Aquarius, your wisdom quotient is like at nil right now. So let February, first week of March pass before you try to be wise, the wise guy about anything, because Saturn will move into your earnings house and this will be good for you for the most part. And he will begin to really consolidate a long-term earnings and wealth strategy for you starting March 7th at 3 years. Check out my video on that. Saturn, all signs, 2023 transit through Pisces in my playlist for the 2023 big transits. Alrighty, I'll be doing one more Saturn story for all signs, part 2 coming up later this month. So stay tuned for that as well. I want to talk about Saturn and another aspect of his transits through the sky for the world and for each of us, based on our rising sign. And I am doing it, guys. I'm finishing at 4. And my daughter just texted me to say she doesn't need me till 4:30. But I'm glad I kept this pithy anyway. All right. If you're in the live premiere and you're still watching and you haven't hit my like button, please do. Check my description box for everything I have to offer. Classes, courses, freebie giveaways galore. My amazing Asteroid course was sold to 250 people, but I've been giving it away this last month, and now it's up to 500 people who've gotten it by either buying it or getting it as a freebie. And if you haven't taken that amazing Asteroids course yet, check the description link below under freebies and you can grab it as well. I'll be teaching an Asteroids masterclass at the end of the month of February, probably. And if you want to jump into that, I'll be sharing that in future videos. For those of you who've done the intro class, otherwise don't bother, right? You really need to take the intro class, which is free. Pisces, sun, moon, and rising sign. I'm going to make sure you get an extra long time here. All right, so Pisces, okay, let's go. Excuse me for like gasping at you. Oh my God. So for Pisces people, you've been enduring the Saturn transit through your 12th house. It could cause some hardship, but it's not meant to hurt you. This has been true since March of last year, March of 2020, I mean. Saturn is trying to help you. It is a karmic transit, reduces the karmic backlog, clears the karmic closet out, asks you to be a hermit, to spend more time alone, to be more contemplative, introspective, to find your inner wisdom, to find out where God is in your life. Saturn here can also be a hardship for your health and may have brought you more than once to the hospital if you got sick during that time. Saturn here also in this longer transit can reduce your financial gain and earnings, especially because he is unable to be very effective, especially if earnings were coming from foreign places. But it's a place of loss. The 12th house is a place of loss. So it can be health loss, financial loss. It's coming to an end, and you're going to be starting your life fresh with Saturn coming through the house of you Pisces people, March the 7th to February of 2026. So that's a big deal, and you need to watch my Saturn transit through the all signs video in my playlist for big transits of 23, because it's most important for you. And it'll help you make your dreams become real for the first time in your life. You've been dreaming big since 2011, but also neutered in ability to make those dreams real. And now you can actually begin to encourage your life towards making dreams a real thing, like functional, tangible results from your visions and dreams and goals that are fantastical and magical. But Saturn is in his last time here, coming into the heart of the sun in your 12th house. This is a very powerful transit for you. It's the last one in 30 years. And as he does that, he flows to the triple crossroads decision making. Which way do you go? 3 roads to choose from. Hekate in the 4th house of land, homeland, property, real estate, domestic life. Some of you are really looking at your home in a new way. Where are you going to live? Is it going to be another country, another land? Is it going to be closer to your childhood of origin home, because 4th house is your home or family of origin? What choices are you facing here? And yeah, when you make some decisions around that, it's going to be favorable, because this is the mother of angels. This is a positive archetype. Of Hekate is here, also sorceress, magical as well. This definitely can look like also things to do with like just the legals of property, legacy wealth, inheritances, things to do with home and property. Big choice points are coming up for a lot of you, but also just where you're going to live and who you're going to live with and that kind of thing coming up big time for you. Even though the Cazimi choice point is on the 16th of February, where this 27 degrees is happening to 27 degrees of 12th to 4th house, you may not see the choice as clearly or even know you're facing it perhaps until the visible Saturn shows up around the 6th of March. So let's see how that works for you. Also, Lord Saturn is the Lord of your 11th house, of your wishes and dreams for your life and your longer term goals, and also getting friends, benefits from friends and favors from allies, especially eldest sibling, and even having some money luck. And all of that's off duty all of February into the first week of March. Do not expect big results there at all, or delays at the very best. This includes great gains from your career. You may find that they're mediocre at best in terms of don't have massive expectations for raises, promotions, or large chunks of money coming through your purpose and career during February to about March the 6th. Saturn also is unable to at all support you in your bettering your health in ways that you might think would work, or getting a pet, or leasing a property, or getting a dating situation off the ground. He cannot help you at any sixth house matters during February, first week of March, nor can he support you to do with religious, spiritual beliefs, visas, and foreign land travel, things to do with book publishing, or to say court cases, or academic environment. Your ninth house is off duty, as well as your third house of skills-based learning and teaching, trips and travel, a youngest sibling or siblings in general, or things to do with your online world, or things to do with writing. Those houses that we're talking about, right, are off duty: 12, 3, 6, and 9, the angular houses to him. So when he's invisible, there's delays in those houses most likely as well. But is it true? You be the judge, okay? You figure it out. If you thought you were going to travel, is there a delay in getting those trips, either domestic, third house, or international, ninth house, off the ground? If you thought your book was going to be published or the agent was going to take it on, are there delays in that ninth house thing? If you thought that you were going to be able to do something in your local neighborhood that was important to you, third house, or something to do with a neighbor, it may fall through or may be delayed. I'm just giving you examples. If you wanted to get that pet, the breeder tells you that there was a litter shortfall and you're on the wait list for the next pet. Things like that could be happening when Saturn's invisible and unable to positively influence any of the houses that he normally would be able to activate. And lastly, given that the sun is the lord of your house of sickness and will be, embedded in that Cazimi with Saturn, I would sort of think that maybe it's not a good time for any particular new medical procedure or medical decision-making thing, to hold off on that, okay? That would just be my feeling on that. If you can wait, I mean, obviously, if you need critical surgery, for goodness sakes, or emergency medication, don't listen to me. I'm just saying if there's a time you could just wait, maybe delay till the first week of March to get some more clarity, that would be more auspicious for you. Okay, thank you for listening, everyone. Pisces, sun, moon, and rising sign. I appreciate you in my live chat, especially. Thank you to all of the regulars for being here. I'm sure it's all the same gang, usually is, but there's newbies coming in, and I'm loving the international flavor with countries from everywhere from Australia to Turkey to Romania to Singapore to Australia to Scotland to England in general, and North America, of course, United States, etc. In the back end of my stats, like 60% of my clients, 60% of my fan base is the United States, right? Canada is like tiny, but it's the United States, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, and then weird places in the world, guys, like Croatia. Like, what? Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. And stay tuned for my next video, which probably might be another part 2 on Saturn moving through Pisces for the world and individually, as well as I'm probably going to do a video coming up soon on the, of course, on the moon, on the next moon, the Pisces moon. Just stay tuned for all that stuff. Thanks, guys. Ciao, ciao. Mwah.